Well, welcome to the episode today. Things are going to be a little different. And I've been trying some different things recently. If you've been tuning in, you maybe have noticed that. And this one's not going to be about frameworks. It's not going to be about speaking, persuasion tips, or anything like that. This was about clarity. And really just wanting to share with you some of the things that I've been thinking about that are helping me get more clarity that I think might help you as well, especially if you do have any struggles on the journey to moving forward as a speaker or with anything else you're doing professionally. If you feel any kind of mental fog, because I've been feeling foggy for a little while now, too many things pulling on my attention. If this is stuff that comes up for you, well, that's what I want to talk about today. And I hope that you'll find it helpful as well. If this feels like it has no relevance to you, you're probably going to want to listen to another episode, or you might find some value in this that might help you if you're coaching or helping other people who are dealing with these kinds of things going on. But what I really want to share with you is what I've realized about chasing too many goals and how really I'm trying to narrow things down to what matters the most. And having made a decision to stop trying to build too many things and start really focusing on building stages. So the mental fog has been kind of real. And I really haven't scripted anything as much today. I've kind of outlined some thoughts, but I really want to have a real heart-to-heart conversation with you today. And so this mental fog stuff has been going on for a little while. And if you've been tuning into the show, you will have heard me talk about this. If you haven't, this is your first time. Cool. Glad you're here. But one of the reasons for this, one of the big things that was coming up for me was recognizing that one of the key culprits, if you like, one of the main culprits for feeling this mental fog was to do with limited identity, like really struggling to step into the identity of who I want to be. I would say also maybe not having complete clarity on who that person is yet and figuring that stuff out. So that's been a real part of the journey. I'm going to talk much more fully on that in a future episode, but I really want to get to the other side of that journey before I start talking too deeply about it. A real thing though, and it's always been one of my biggest challenges, is trying to do too many things at once. Like you're on a treadmill, but you're not really getting anywhere. You're putting in all the effort and the energy. Maybe of course, you get some results from that, but you're not getting to a destination. You're just staying in one spot. And that's pretty much how it's been feeling for me. And I always like the metaphor of like, we all have to push our big rock up a hill. We all have our big rocks in life. So we're trying to push our big rock up a hill to get it over the top of the hill, get it to the tipping point, the momentum point where it starts to gather its own momentum. You don't have to push hard anymore. It starts to pull you forward and things take on a life of their own. But what stops most of us from ever getting to the tipping point is picking up all the shiny objects and rocks, and we're paying attention to all the distractions and beautiful scenery and things along the way. And so we can even end up at points where, however far we get with our big rock, we can start rolling backwards and finding ourselves feeling like we're back at square one and not really making any progress. It's not a great place to be. And it can leave you feeling a little disillusioned, disheartened, wondering if it's really worth the effort of trying again. But I get this. Just imagine if you're trying to push your big rock up an inclined treadmill, you're never going to get to that point at the top. You're just going to keep pushing and pushing. It's like King Sisyphus. They're never ending. You'll always keep finding yourself back at the bottom again and having to start from scratch. And so many of the clients I've worked with over many years will often say the same thing. If they've got too many things going on, you need to simplify. It may not be realistic to get rid of everything that's on your plate, but there probably is stuff that could go, or it could at least go on hold for the time being, even if you don't really want to do it. Because for me, with everything going on, like podcasting, coaching, speaking, comedy, storytelling, all of these things is just starting to become mental noise. And the emotional cost of all of it has been a bit of a loss of momentum, some fatigue, and some self-doubt. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been really good things to come out of those things too. And I want to talk somewhat about that as well. But the reality is, having too many things on the go, as much as it can be fun and exciting, it ultimately slows you down and can often mean you never really get to where you want to with any of them. And so that's not really where any of us probably want to find ourselves in life. I had to make some decisions recently about the podcast. I did a whole episode about that, the changes that I'm making, that things needed to be more simplified, because otherwise the show ends up taking up too much time. I don't want to be just putting out content for the sake of putting out content. It doesn't really deliver anything. It makes me feel like I'm busy. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. I'm doing the busy work, but where are the results? I have to see results for it. I see some results, but not anything like where I would hope to be after 6 years of podcasting, that I still sort of feel like I'm still on the starting blocks, really. Whilst I know there are people who tune into the show regularly, and I know that the audience is very small, and sometimes there are big spikes, there has been this week, big spikes in the listenership, and then there are big slumps in it. This up and down journey, it just can't go on. Things have to show a consistent level of valuable growth to show that this podcast is worth me continuing to invest my time, energy, and knowledge into it, to keep setting up the guest interviews for you, or to move on to another project that's going to be a better use of my time and more desirable for you as well. I think what's come from the performance aspects of what I've been doing mostly this year as well is just that realization that the stage is really where I'm meant to be. The stage is where I feel like I'm most confident. It's where I feel that people really see me and hear me, where I feel, I guess, where I feel valued as well. And that is important to me, to feel that there's value in what I'm doing and that people are appreciating it. And we all need that. Maybe there's some ego tied into that, probably, but ultimately it is wanting to make an impact, wanting to have an effect, wanting to be seen, be heard, all the stuff that we often talk about on the show. Talked recently an episode about feeling ignored. And sometimes I do. Sometimes online, particularly on social media, I feel kind of ignored, but I don't necessarily know how to fix that. But then when I put stuff out that's me on stages, suddenly I get noticed. Suddenly I get the numbers going up, the downloads going. One YouTube video for me, maybe nothing great in terms of people who get like hundreds and thousands of downloads for an episode, but hitting 7,000 views for a single video for me was a first. And it's like, oh, that's significant. Wow, 7,000 views, that's significant. Pretty sure that's not just my mum going through YouTube shorts, watching the same one over and over again. At least I hope not. Things like that, they just make you think, yeah, the stage is really where I need to be. Whether it's Keynote, whether it's comedy set, that's where people are paying attention. That's where people are reaching out to me. And for me, that's where the real magic happens. And so there's been this whole internal debate on like pausing the podcast, or rather, we're keeping it going somewhat, but really doubling down on the speaking or doubling down on the coaching. And when it came down to it, is like, I feel like the speaking is really what it's all about for me. And the coaching is something that probably will come. I still will do some of it. I still have people approaching me from time to time to work with me. And that's great. I love that. I will keep doing it, but I'm not going to be focusing my time and energy on the attraction part of coaching right now, because I feel like it's the speaking bit that is really where I need to focus. If anything, this year has shown me that getting on stages to do stand-up comedy has been incredibly valuable for growing my abilities as a speaker, but also my confidence, my comfort on stage, my ability to communicate and connect with people as well, which I feel much more able to do now. I'm not just getting up there and being a clown for people, look at me. I'm getting up there to connect with people and to have some fun. And when I'm speaking, it's kind of the same. Get out there to connect, to have some fun, to learn something as well. We go more into the edutainment kind of style of that. It's even got me thinking that feel very much like corporate comedy is something that I want to offer as well. And I know that that's kind of the thing that many people just won't consider as a speaker, because not everyone wants to be a stand-up, and that's cool. I love doing stand-up. And so I think, well, why not lean into that more? I'm going to bring much more of it into my speaking, but not to the point where things become ridiculous or not taking anything seriously. But definitely there's a big demand for corporate comics, for MCs, for after dinner speakers even. That would be a really lucrative area to get into that I will enjoy. And I think it's going to give value to other people as well. So it turns out really that focus isn't really the risk for me. The distraction is. I've been very distracted, and I've allowed myself to be as well. But here's the problem. Here's where I think that comes from. Ultimately, when you're not really where you want to be, you can end up trying to pull every lever, push every door, and hope that something gives. And it is this strategy of hope. You hope something's going to give and get you somewhere. And I recognize that with the podcast. I recognize there was a bit of a strategy of hope, hoping that the numbers would grow, hoping that things would take off with it. But then getting that wake up call of, well, it's not going to grow if you don't know why it's not growing. It's not just a magic thing that suddenly happens. You have to be moving in that direction. You have to be listening to your audience and the feedback that you're getting, which for me mostly is from my stats, from the show stats. And it has given me a lot of clear direction, but also from some of the people who tune into the show as well. And just having that wake up call of, I cannot spend so much time on it anymore because it's not paying off, and it doesn't look like it's going to pay off, at least financially, anytime soon. And so I have to do something about that. And that something was making some changes, simplifying my workflow, cutting back on some things so that I could focus on what's most important. So there's really about getting very practical and honest with myself and saying, you know what, the podcast isn't going away. I'm not going to, I can't quit it. I can't quit you. Like that, or Brokeback Mountain, I just can't quit yet. I can't quit the podcast. Maybe I'm kind of addicted to it. I'm not willing to let it go. It's kind of my baby. I love doing it. Still getting amazing people reaching out, wanting to come on the show as well, which I'm setting up some very, very cool guests. There's a lot to look forward to it. So it's not going anywhere for now. And it will remain to be seen whether it does or not next year. But even if it does, something else will come along and I will do something else in the podcast world. If this ends up not being the best place for me to be putting out my time and my energy, then I will definitely have a big rethink about that. But for the next 90 days, I'm going all in on my speaking business and the corporate comedy stuff and focusing on getting myself booked. So this really means maybe somewhat fewer podcast episodes. I'll be cutting back. It might actually end up getting cut back to 2 episodes a month to give myself the leeway here to be able to take a big time burden off my own plate so that I can focus on what's making me money. Because ultimately I have to stay fed and clothed and all those important things. So I'm only going to be coaching on request. I'm not going to be actively reaching out for clients. And all my energy is going to be going into getting booked, performing, and proving myself that I can do it. So, I'm calling it my stage domination sprint. And this is exactly how I'm going to be measuring it. Because my goal is for 2 gigs a month. 2 gigs a month is going to be optimal. Might take a little while to get there, but 2 gigs a month ideally is optimally going to be 5,000 euros or pounds a gig. Get my new show reel up, get some audience impact, some feedback testimonials, all that good stuff. All the stuff that I've always told clients to get, especially people I've worked with at Speaker Lab, is time for me to do those things for myself. So it's not about quitting things so much. It's because I'm not really quitting anything. Some stuff is going on the back burner for now, but this is really about committing to what works and what I know works, because success isn't really that hard if you actually do the things that will get you success. And I know exactly what to do to get speaker bookings and get successful. I'm just not doing enough of it. And so that's what really has had to change. The Stoic philosophers definitely recognize that sometimes we have to give up the things that we love. And sometimes that's an exercise in growth, but it's also just stopping us from allowing ourselves to just do things because they're habitual or because we're addicted somewhat to them. And so we're not just in the habit. We're not just doing stuff because that's the habit we've fallen into. We get more control back when we stop doing some of these things. When we fast, we appreciate our food more. When we cut out alcohol for a while, we maybe feel healthier for a bit, and also might feel more appreciative of it when we do allow ourselves to drink, if we do go back to it. Same with anything in life. Same with all these projects as well. We can get addicted to doing all the things. We end up with entrepreneurial guilt. I made that decision back in 2009 to go full time in working for myself. And it's been a rough road with lots of wonderful ups and lots of downs as well. No kidding. It's not for everyone. You have to be prepared for that. But I made that choice and I'm living with it. To be honest with you, I'm loving it and I'm not regretting it at all, because my life, I have so much to be grateful for. I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky and privileged in my life. And I think far too many people underplay the role that luck does have in their success, because so much of it is just luck, right place, right time, or right knowledge, right people, that all those kinds of things can just, luck really comes into a big part of it, somewhat privilege as well. And we have to acknowledge these things. People say they're all self-made. Nobody is. We are made from the people who helped to make us, the people who've helped to push us up, pull us up, and everything else along the way, and from the conditions and the luck and privilege that we have perhaps sometimes been born into as well. And sometimes not, and sometimes we really do have to work damn hard for it. But we are all a product. We are all a product of our environment, our people, good and bad. It all helped to shape us into who we've become today. And if you like who you become, if you love who you are today, great, you're in a good place. If you don't, then maybe still some work to do. But I do. I love who I am today. I love where I'm heading in my life. I regret none of my decisions. All the challenges I've been through, whilst they've been difficult, have been absolutely worth it. And I know there's more to come, but different challenges, different future. So I realized that I don't need to be a coach, a podcaster, a comedian, a storyteller, a trainer, a keynoter, all these things at once. I don't need to be all of it at once. I just need to be me. I need to be John Ball, someone who helps people connect and think and have some laughs along the way. And the fog hasn't been a flaw. It's really been a signal to me, a signal of misaligned focus. I would even say the brain fog at times is almost felt painful, because it's just been so hard to think. But as I feel that fog lifting now, mostly lifted, to be honest with you, it really has become about finding the one thing to go all in on. And everything has been pointing me in the direction of getting myself on stages and going all in. And I feel that me doing that as well is going to be more beneficial to you too, as listeners of this show, because there's a good chance that you're looking to get booked on stages as well, whether that's getting booked as a paid speaker or getting booked to get more clients or promote your business, or getting on stages as a leader. For any of those reasons, me doing more of that is going to help you to do more of that for yourself. So for the next 90 days, it's stage first. Everything else is second. If you're someone who's been spread thin, then maybe this will nudge you to pick one path too. Sometimes we do have to let go. The Chinese proverb of the person who chases two rabbits catches neither. I've not been chasing two rabbits. I've been chasing 5 or more. Maybe you have as well. And I've always known that when I simplify, when I focus in, I get a lot further, a lot faster. And so I'm here to do that. I'm here to have what I want, but not all at once. I might end up being a little quieter for a while. But if you don't hear from me, you just imagine me somewhere with a microphone, a story, and hopefully a check going into the bank. And I want to hear from you as well. So this may be giving you some thoughts about focusing in a little bit more and going all in on something to do the sprint, make some action, because big action sprints they're not something that we can continue on and on and on. We can't hustle and grind all the time. But when we focus in on something like that, when we take other things off our plate and give ourselves that ability to say, sorry, this is what I'm doing. This is all that matters. And these are the things that I know will get me results in doing that. And you're doing those things, you should be starting to see some results and action from that. If you don't know what the things are that are going to help you get results with this, well, maybe you and I should have a chat. But reach out. I'd love to help you get more clarity on that as well. Whether it's just a quick 30-minute chat to help you get a bit more clarity, or whether you're thinking, oh, maybe I need a bit more than that. Either way, you can get in touch and let's have the conversation. Let's see if it can help you get that clarity. Because it's time to go all in for me and maybe for you too. And I'd like to keep you informed on the journey. So keep following me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or following the podcast, wherever you're tuning in. And I'll keep you posted on everything that's going on. I'll say this as well before I wrap things up. It's been very important to me to have support and encouragement from people in my life. And without that, it can be very hard. Now, my husband sometimes worries about where things are going and what's coming up for the future. Whilst we are okay for everything, the future, our future security and stuff plays on his mind. He doesn't get all of it. but he supports me and is supportive of everything I'm doing. My family, my parents, they don't get everything, but they're supportive. And my friends who do, a lot of them do get this a lot more, are also incredibly supportive. I feel like I'm very lucky that I don't have people in my life who are telling me I can't do this or I shouldn't do this. And certainly I have been in that place before in my life. If that's where you are right now, you need someone on your side. And if I can be that person for you, reach out and let me know. I will be that person for you. Get in touch. If you're struggling to get focused in on something, you recognizing, oh, I really struggle with this focus thing too. I'm trying to do too many things at once. I've got that entrepreneurial guilt. I'm hoping that something will happen. I just need to get there, get somewhere, get something going on. Let's have a chat. And, I'm not trying to get you into coaching or anything like that, just to help you get a little more clarity. Reach out, let me know. I'll have details for how you can contact me. LinkedIn's one of the best ways, but you can contact me through the website as well, or you can directly get in touch with me. Website, LinkedIn, email, all of that is going to be in the show notes in the description. Check that out. Drop me a line if I can help you. No strings, no commitment, but wouldn't it be good to have someone on your side, especially if you don't right now? Wouldn't it be good to have a bit more clarity about what you should be focusing in on and what's going to make the biggest difference to your growth going forward? Maybe even someone supporting you and encouraging you to do all those things. If that sounds good to you, get in touch. Either way, stay tuned, stay connected to what's going on. LinkedIn, whether that's on LinkedIn, YouTube, or the audio podcast, I'm going to keep posting the progress. And I look forward to speaking with, and I'm going to be bringing you an interview pretty soon with a lady called Merit Khan. Merit's lovely. We've talked a lot about the comedy, the humor stuff in speaking. I think you're going to really get a lot of value from that, especially if you want to be a little bit more funny and engaging on the stage. She's like doing a one-woman show, which is incredible. And you're going to love the conversation. Lovely lady, lots of great stuff. We had a really fun chat, and I think you're going to get some value out of it as well. So stay tuned into the show and for the other amazing guests that we've got coming up. Have a great rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week. I'll speak soon. Bye-bye.